bring my sandals. I would have come in my sandals if the trousers was not too long so that I would step on the... This one is all Uganda made. This one here, this one is also wholly made in Uganda. I would have come here in my jungle hut, which is totally Uganda made, but because there's no sunshine, I decided to use the beret. But this one is even better. This actually was designed by me. And because the people who are asking for the shoes are bad-mannered, I can look for a disciplined... Abiriga. And I want to advise these young people of mine. Something they call nyeko is very bad. Nyeko means jealous. So some of these people are suffering from nyeko. When they see somebody who has lived long, why has he lived long? When they say somebody who has been in government for a long time, why has he? That's nyeko. Stop this nyeko. Bugorobi, we are using it for another thing now. We call this change of use, change of land use. If you have not heard that term, now you hear it for the first time. I just enjoy these young people. They want to see how sharp my brain is. And I always handle them. I'm always in the kitchen. For you, you are always on the dining table eating. Japanese live up to the age of 79. That's the average life expectancy of Japanese. Why does God call Africans at 43? Is he lonely? What is his problem? 43, they will die. Then the priest will come. God has called him. God always calls you when he... But is God lonely? Why is he calling these people?
Let me take this opportunity to warn our people publicly about the wrong practices indulged in and promoted by some of the outsiders. One of them is what they call oral sex. The mouth is for eating. Okuria, cham. The mouth is for eating, not for sex.
Yes, let me start with monitor. Tembo, Chidandi, the lady there, the white lady, so I don't know your name, and somebody, either from UBC or something. You just line up on the microphone. Let's have 5 first and then...
One question per person.
Yes. Then BBC Swahili will come.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
I'm engaging with young people on the social media. Some of them abuse me, say, you are very stupid. I said, okay, I'm stupid, but I am able to walk on my 2 feet. I answer them also, because they I answer them. I don't have to fight with these children to win them over. And when I send messages to answer them, when there were 10 who were attacking me, you find only 6 remain. 4 answer back, say, the old man has made a good point. Then I remain with 6 who are still, yes, but when are you going home? Yes, going home is not a problem. My home is very well known. I can go home, but first, sort of your problems of Uganda. First of all, sort of tribalism. Work for East African Federation because you need it. You need it for your coffee. You need it for your sugar. For your sugar. You need it for your milk. You first work on your own things. Me, I have no problem. I have got my home to go to. Then when they answer back, you find that only 4 have remained. You don't have to be violent with these people. You use your language, your tongue, to persuade them, to win them over.
Let me take this opportunity to warn our people publicly about the wrong practices indulged in and promoted by some of the outsiders. One of them is what they call oral sex. The mouth is for eating. Okuria, cham. The mouth is for eating, not for sex.
Yeah, but when I tried to drink beer, 1966, it was so sour. I almost spit it. I asked my friend, what are you drinking this? I said, that I will get the sweetness later, but it was so bitter.
If you are killing ghosts, you go to all the abandoned homes. Just in case the home you don't go to is where the ghost is. Ghosts, we call them in our language, joke. So if you are killing joke, you don't leave any place, you go. So let me now try this and see how it works. For sweeping, you know that grass, which they tie and they use for sweeping. That is Pancam maxima, Pancam, there are 2 types.
Yeah, and Bracharia, Your Excellency.
Bracharia is what is called a chufta in Uganda. A chufta, a jouet, this very nice grass which goes on the soil. The one with the, I don't know what they call it.
Those are basically the good ones for our cattle here, which are indigenous, Your Excellency.
And how about Hyperenia rufa? Is it so bad?
Well, it's okay, but in some areas it is not so common. In your place, Your Excellency, it is very common, but some areas it's not.
Hyperenia rufa is embrara. This grass which they use for thatching houses. That one there. So this should be, thank you very much. And also the Mkamba.
The legumes.
The Desmodium.
Yeah.
Desmodium what?
No, Napier grass is okay, but for zero grazing, Napier grass is.
Count. That 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can reveal to you that those actors had a narrow escape. When some actors started attacking Libya against the decision of the African Union, I contacted His Excellency Jacob Zuma of South Africa and proposed that African armies that so decided to intervene in Libya and confront and teach a lesson to those aggressors. We were let down by Muammar Gaddafi, who abandoned Tripoli without a fight. Although at that time I did not have direct link with Muammar Gaddafi, I advised his envoy, who came to see me here, to turn Tripoli into a Stalingrad. With H.E. Jacob Zuma, we are to work out a solution for the aircrafts and cruise missiles that some people use to attack defenseless people from far away, so that if the aggressors so wished could come on the ground and we fight man to man. Such a confrontation would, of course, have been imposed on us unnecessarily. We have, since a long time ago, stated that the African patriots, like we in the NRM, are neither pro-West nor pro-East. We are first and foremost pro-Africa. Because there is something called Africa. When I came in the government when we were still fighting, are you pro-East or pro-West? Idiot, I am pro-Africa. I cannot be here to be pro-others, but not pro myself. It is on account of that good friends should only deal with contentious strategic African issues via the African Union. Bypassing the African Union is not acceptable when it comes to dangerous strategic African issues. We have no interest in fighting anybody except poverty and underdevelopment in Africa, starting with Uganda. However, some actors are always in search of enemies. They are looking for enemies. You are not an enemy, they declare you an enemy. Okay, if you want to be an enemy, you can sort out issues. Our role there is to advise those who are advisable, but also do our patriotic duty if unavoidable. Unfortunately, the Libyans collapsed quickly. On account of that, much of Northwest Africa has been with security problems that were not there before. Libya, Chad, Mali, Niger, parts of Nigeria, Central African Republic, and Cameroon. Who is responsible for this hemorrhage? I hear people talking about accountability. Who is accountable for this suffering? Who caused all this? Of course, Muammar Gaddafi had his own problems. I had had the task of fighting him twice, 1972 and 1979, as he intervened in Uganda on the side of Idi Amin because Idi Amin was a Muslim. However, foreign armies attacking an African country against the express objection of the African Union is not a solution. The huge concomitant suffering of the Africans in Libya and the surrounding countries has proven that, if any proof was needed. Africa can defend itself against any and all aggressors if we coordinate. In 1963, our leaders met in Addis Ababa. Only 36 of them that time, and declared that the rest of Africa must be freed peacefully or Africa would use force. This was 1963. That time, some of the actors thought, and they seem to think now, that this was just idle talk. Exactly 11 years later, in 1974, the African armies of Mozambique, Angola, and Guinea-Bissau, supported by the courageous Mwalimu Nyerere, Kenneth Kaunda, Sekou Toure, Boumediene, Nasser, and briefly Nkrumah, and the socialist countries had defeated the Portuguese African armies, totaling almost 200,000 soldiers. Just before this victory, There had been the 1973 Arab-Israeli War, where the Egyptian army put up a better performance and quite bled the Israelis before the latter crossed the canal and surrounded the Egyptian second and third armies in Suez and Port Said. The Israelis, badly needed resupplies by the USA. However, the USA had a problem because many of the European countries did not want to refuel the American transport planes in fear of the Arab anger. The Arabs had announced the 1973 oil boycott against those they saw as their enemies. That left the Portuguese islands of the Azores. In the USA National Security Council meeting of 1974, the issue of using the Azores came up. Somebody in the meeting pointed out that Africans will be very annoyed. Henry Kissinger, who was said to be a clever man, is said to have said that African anger does not matter because they have no capacity to enforce it. Exactly 5 months from the date of that meeting, the Africans who did not matter defeated the Portuguese who mattered. I'm told Kissinger is still alive. It would be good for his record if he cleared this allegation. It is up to us to show all and sundry that we matter and we have the capacity. We defeated the Islamic hoodlums in Somalia. When we went to Somalia, these idiots were calling us kafiri, that we are kafiris. Yes, we are kafiris, but this is our land. If you don't want to be in the land of the kafiri, go to Pakistan or to other places where you come from. This is our land. It is the land of the kafiris, the land of those Christians, the land of Muslims, which is our land. So if you bring your rubbish, we deal with you, like we did with those idiots in Somalia. We defeated the racist whites in Southern Africa. We can defend Africa if we act together and act right. Back to Uganda now. The elections are over. Akaruru kagwa banange. Let us get down to work. The 4 economic sectors where there are jobs and wealth are commercial agriculture, Emu, with the Chivaro, Chura, Aymar, Otita, counting profitability, industries, services, and ICT. With your individual savings, collective savings by groups, borrowing from banks, or with government support, you should enter one or more of these sectors so as to chase poverty from your homesteads, create wealth and jobs for some of your family and also for others. I thank you and I wish you good luck. But if you insure cars, you insure houses, why don't you insure Africa? What is the insurance policy for Africa against aggression by big powers? Even these Asian countries, which are now our friends, they can become a problem tomorrow. Now, they are governed by communists, people who were with us ideologically. But they can be taken over by fascists. What if a fascist takes over a huge country like China? Huge, big population, resources
We are not sure natural resources. Here you have got Africa. Because our Lord's Prayer says, thou shalt not lead us in temptation, but deliver us from evil. But Africa says, I lead all of you into temptation. Because by remaining weak, we tempt the greedy. So, that's why we say that the second why is where possible to work for strategic security, to create a unit which has got the capacity to resist all and every aggressor who may want to have hungry eyes on Africa. That's why, therefore, the other one, prosperity, we try to achieve through economic integration. But when it comes to strategic security, you cannot easily achieve it if you remain separate countries. That's why we talk of federation. In fact, confederation, me, I see it as a transitional stage. The actual aim should be federation, so that we can have a strong country, a strong center of gravity for Africa. You have smaller countries in Europe. You have smaller countries